Good morning and welcome to another wellness weekend. My name is Kathy Reneses. I work as an in-house life coach at Centro Holistico. And joining me this lovely, rainy, snuggly morning is Doc Ven Valdez. Good morning, Ven.
Good morning. Hello. Good to see you again.
Yeah, great to see you. This week has been like I've had such a lazy week. Just
Same.
between all the rain, getting
Yeah.
out of ghost month pa din yung feeling ko, nandun pa din
Right.
ako.
Yeah. No.
No, parang ang bigat ng katawan mo and parang you're just coming out of it.
Yeah. I
And like,
agree.
right? And like the extension MECQ isn't helping
Mm-hmm.
either. So it's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
like I don't know if I'm stressed or if I'm lazy now at this point. I
No,
think
I think
both.
it's the weather also kasi parang there's a lot of dampness going around in our environment and we can also
Yeah.
parang inhabit or absorb that dampness. Yeah, so the
Mm.
sluggishness is an effect of that, right? So, yeah, hopefully we get sunshine so we can get, things up and running again.
Oh, for sure. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So it's I love this topic that we're going to get into this morning because this is like one of my favorite things to do. If people ask me like what my hobbies are, like this is like top 3.
Same. I love napping. I love sleeping.
and it's
Yep.
and we're talking about sleep, the benefits of sleep and our immune system. I love how like when we were younger, diba?
Hmm.
Like we would hate taking naps.
Yep.
Diba? Parang all I ever do is take naps. This is so unfair. And
Right.
then like when you're an adult, all you want to do after is take naps.
True. Like I want to go back to my younger self and just talk to her and just sleep, please. You're gonna ask
make
for it when you're older.
make the most of it.
Make the
Exactly.
most of it. Yeah.
Kaloka, no? Like I wonder what happened, like what belief systems we kind of get indoctrinated with growing up
Mm,
that as a kid you're like, oh, you have to sleep, you need to take your
right.
nap, it keeps you
Yeah.
healthy. And
Yeah.
then somewhere in the middle we're kind of like sleep is for the weak, right?
Yeah.
And then we, and
I think
then
it's
we
part of ano rin eh, like culture, right? Because the hustle culture or like there's so much stimulation also that we're like,
Mm,
I'll just sacrifice sleep so I can like watch all these things because it's so
yeah.
exciting, read about all of these things, ganyan. But
Mm,
as with anything, you need kasi balance eh. And ano
yeah.
rin, proper time management to be able to, experience all of those things or do all of those things you want to do.
Exactly. And then like when we're in our twilight years, the napping comes back, right? And you're like
Right,
expected na ulit to start napping. So it's kind of funny, like the
right.
the belief systems and the culture that we're indoctrinated with when it
Yeah,
comes to this aspect of our life.
yeah, true.
And I kind of feel, especially sa ngayong panahon ng COVID, na we're all in a pandemic and our
Mm-hmm.
stress levels are constantly up there, that sleep has taken parang a toll
Mm.
on our bodies, either usually lack thereof or
Mm-hmm.
alam mo yung mababaw na tulog because like
Yeah.
you're still thinking about like what's happening, what do I
Mm-hmm.
need to do, etc.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Which is why I love this topic. So, Doc Ven, to start us off, could
Mm-hmm.
you kind of explain to us what the connection is of sleep
Mm-hmm.
and our immune system? Like, how do they
Right.
connect?
Yeah. So it's no. It's kind of something na you don't realize, right? Ako rin before, like sleep is something you do, just something that you have to do, right? I never thought of it as something that's
Yeah.
very important to my health before,
Mhm.
especially when I was in med school because you have to read so many things, right? Or when we were in college or high school, like there's so many projects, etc.
Yeah.
But there's actually like a big correlation with sleep and your immune system. First of all, it's your body's first line of defense against any infectious
Mm,
disease. Yeah. So interesting, no? So
yeah.
kasi when you think about it, when you're sleeping, that's the time when your body is not doing anything, so it can repair all of the injuries, all of the inflammation, all of the, stresses from the day itself. Because every day we experience inflammation, every day we experience stresses. It's not something that we can avoid,
Mm,
unfortunately. Some stress is good, but of course, ano rin, parang, you use up all of your reserves during the day. So
yeah.
at night, that's your body's time to replenish, repair, and, to rebalance itself. And
Mm,
ano kasi, there's a period from around 12 to around 6 a.m. where certain hormones or certain cells of your immune systems are secreted more, or parang yun yung
ah,
peak time. Yeah, that's the
mm-mm,
peak time of their secretion. So if you're getting quality sleep or good amount hours of sleep, then you're able to get the benefits of those peak times of release of all of your good cells and good hormones in the body.
That kaya pala, that's why it feels so different, like the quality of sleep that you get at night compared to kung magpupuyat ka and then you kind of end up sleeping in the morning.
Yes, yes, exactly. Kasi, ay, sige,
Right.
go ahead.
No, no, no. I just said like I finally kind of understand that.
Mhm.
Paano kung like people who do get COVID, does it affect their sleep? Because
Mhm.
I'm kind of expecting that, if you have COVID, then you might be like coughing all the time.
Mhm.
So like that kind of wakes you up, or you have trouble breathing,
Mhm.
etc.
Yeah.
How would sleep more or less affect a COVID patient?
Right. So when you have diba? Kasi when you have infection, there's a term we use called cytokines.
Mm,
Basically, it's part of your immune system. It's one of your the cells of your immune system being released to fight off infection. So we often hear about cytokine storm, right? And how that's very common in COVID patients. So it's true. Like when you are coughing or when you're uncomfortable, right?
mm.
Not even the coughing part or the sipon part or the anything. Basta as long as you're comfortable, you're not gonna get adequate sleep or quality sleep. This is why parang melatonin has been studied to be
Mm,
helpful to COVID patients kasi they can support the sleep parang patterns of these patients while they're recovering. So they get to they get to have deeper sleep, more comfortable sleep. Hopefully, then that's the intention of it. Tapos, so parang naggumagana ulit yung immune system nila during those sleeping hours. Yeah.
mm. That is so interesting. Like, parang you never really think how beneficial talaga, no, like sleep is until
Yeah.
yeah, like you get sick and then bagsak yung katawan mo, which is
Mm-hmm.
where you can sleep the entire day and still wake up and feel
Right.
tired because your body
Right.
is still kind of in the midst of
Yeah.
healing itself.
Yep.
Galing,
Yep. Yeah. And
galing.
the thing to remember also is parang your immune system is always working. It's working 24/7, right?
Mhm.
Pero yun nga, with any kind of worker, they also need some things to be able to properly function. This is why it's important also that you're nourishing your body then throughout the day, right? So
Mm.
by the time that you sleep, all of your sleep mechanisms have the energy to be able to give you that quality sleep.
Could you talk a little bit more about that? Because I find that interesting. Because for me, it's
Right.
kind of like sleep is like its own little activity in my
Right.
head. Like I've never
Right.
thought about you gearing up to sleep,
Right.
basically.
Yeah. So so we talked about melatonin kanina, right?
Yeah.
But before you make melatonin, you need another hormone called serotonin,
Mhm.
right? So that's like the first step into making melatonin. But the first step naman into making serotonin is amino acids. So where do you get your amino acids? From good proteins. So if you're
Mm.
nourishing your body throughout the day with good proteins, quality proteins, like in the form of either, like good quality, meat, if you're still eating meat or plant-based sources of proteins, then you're able to increase the production of your serotonin and then increase the production of your melatonin. At the same time, so that's one part of the equation. The other part is,
Mhm.
okay, I'm taking all of these amino acids, but as my body, breaking it down and absorbing it properly. So, ano rin, parang you think about all the ways that you can damage your gut and try
Mm.
to eliminate those things in your diet. Try lang para and see the difference in how you're able to produce able to repair your body in the process then. So that's like
Mm.
a general I know we're sleep, but I don't want to go I
Yeah.
don't want to go into the direction naman of the gut, but yeah, it's a general
Yeah. No, I
way that
like
you can
yeah, I like that because it's basically basically going back to how health really is holistic, and
yep,
you can't just isolate one aspect of our health and then
yeah,
expect that to do better and not work
yeah,
on the other parts,
yeah.
right?
And
Which,
yeah, go ahead, sorry.
yeah, no, I was gonna say, like, which is what a lot of you guys, you central doctors, really educate your patients about, right? That
Yeah,
we can't just work on you losing weight and not working on, yeah, your quality of sleep, your stress
agree,
management, etc.,
agree.
which was such a
Yep.
huge revelation for me.
Yep, yep, yep. And another fun fact. So if you get less than 6 hours of sleep for like 7 days,
Mm.
you increase your cortisol production by around like 50%.
So you're
Yeah.
stressed a lot.
So you're stressed a lot. So between 50 to 80%, you're able
Oh.
to raise your cortisol levels. And when you're raising your cortisol levels, and imagine, Kawari, you go beyond that 1 week of inadequate sleep. So pataas yung cortisol levels mo. No? So a thing to remember is when your cortisols increase, your immune system decreases, dampens. So that's the
Mm.
correlation also with infectious diseases or yun, the immune system in general.
That makes so much sense. Like, I remember my first job ever, like early 2000s. So ginahulaan yung edad ko, please. Is was as a call center agent.
Hmm.
And well, I loved doing the job. I was
Right.
I was super sakitin all the time. Like it was
Hmm.
like every month na lang, like I was sick. I was down with something.
Right.
And yeah, if I think about it, I wasn't getting enough sleep because I worked weird hours. I worked UK
Mm-hmm.
time, so it was like
Mm.
4 p.m. to 2 a.m. And then you
Right.
kind of sleep there and it just kind of ruins everything.
Mm.
Um I wasn't eating the best. Of course, what was
Yeah.
available was fast food, so
Right.
that was kind of it. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I realized even when I came in, I got like I got as much sleep as I could. I was constantly stressed, and that wasn't
Mm-hmm.
very. It technically wasn't a very stressful job for me, but now that you kind of explain it, if your cortisol levels nga are constantly high, that could lead nga talaga to a lot of issues in the long run. So
Yeah.
I didn't realize
Yeah.
how valuable that was. Yeah.
Yeah, and kasi just to bring in a little bit of TCM or traditional
Mhm.
Chinese medicine. You know the perspective of diba? Like the yin and yang. That's the
Yeah.
balance of our body. So
Mm.
in terms of our physiology naman, melatonin kasi and cortisol are kind of yin and yang. So in our
Mm.
sleep, we have a sleep-wake cycle, diba? So
Yeah.
in our sleep-wake cycle, yung pataas in the morning is cortisol, which makes sense because it needs to wake us up. That's the job. And for us to be able to do all of the things we need to do. Pero pababa yan during the
Mhm.
day. And then tataas yung cortisol. Ay,
Mm-mm.
yung melatonin. I'm sorry. Yeah. So at
Got
night,
it.
melatonin, dominates. Cortisol dominates in the morning naman. So if there's like a shift in that sleep-wake cycle or in that parang rhythm of
Mm.
the melatonin and cortisol, that's when you're gonna have issues with sleep or stress even.
Got it. So, like at Centro, for patients that come in that, let's
Hmm.
say, like, struggling
Yeah,
with getting regular quality sleep,
yeah.
like, what services do we have that kind of help them out with that?
Mm. Yeah, so we have acupuncture is very, very good for sleep. It's
Mm.
my favorite way to fix myself. Thank you to all of the doctors in Centro who can do this for me. That one. And then maybe the issues are because you're low in nutrition, right?
Mm.
So we do have mga drips also to help replenish your body lang with all of the nutrients and cofactors needed. Yun nga, to be able to, shift your gears into repairing your body para pag the, ano na, you can also have mga raw materials then for the production, at least for rest and
Yeah.
relaxation then. And then sometimes, kasi the issue is you're not detoxing properly. So all of the toxins are circulating in the body. So
Mm.
sometimes we do suggest the colon cleanse just to give you a gentle detox then, right? So for my mga type A people there, if you're constipated, this is a pattern. This is scientifically based also. You're always, which makes sense. You're always stressed. You're also stressing your digestive system, so it's not able to
Mm.
release
So it's like, yeah,
toxins.
it's pent
Yeah, so
up.
it's like basically you're clenching your butt all the time.
Quite literally, yeah.
Yeah. So there, yeah, a lot of also. Yeah, those are the top three na we
Yeah.
suggested. And
That's
ano rin,
interesting.
sorry.
No, I was gonna say,
Sorry,
like,
go
it's
ahead.
interesting how, like, parang pag inisip mo, ang layo ng colon cleanse sa sleep.
Mm, mm,
Pero, if you think about it, like, in terms of the gut, etc., then it
right.
does, holistic nga talaga. Like,
Yes.
ang daming niyang connect.
Yep. Yep. Everything talaga. Everything has an effect on everything.
Mm. And sorry, you were saying?
Oh no, another rin also pala, before we do all of these things, of course, we sit down with our patients, look at their blood also, the live blood analysis, so we
Yeah.
know which one of those to parang suggest and personalize for our patients then.
Mm. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, so of course, it isn't one size fits all at
Yes.
Centro.
Yes.
You guys
Exactly.
really go down to the nitty gritty of like what is the root cause of
Yep.
this lack of sleep, etc.,
Yep.
etc. I
Yeah.
remember when I was kind of growing up, like I had a depressive episode, and wala akong bisyo, like I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do any of
Sure.
that.
Yeah.
So my coping mechanism was sleeping.
Mm.
And I remember like I could sleep like 16 hours straight, and like,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
I'd wake up, and then pag tinapatan mo ako ng electric fan, I'd be asleep again.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, kasi nga your body was experiencing a lot of stress, right? So it's either, 'di ba? I was listening to a podcast the other day about how
Mhm.
there's when we're stressed, we go into fight or flight, but then the other
Yeah.
part is the freeze, right?
Mm.
So yeah, so I just remember that when you said the coping mechanism. So yeah, sometimes ako rin when I don't want to do anything because I'm so stressed because of all the to-do lists, I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? I deserve a nap. Just to escape.
Exactly. And, and
Yeah.
and and napping as an adult, it's such a luxury, but it's so
Yep.
refreshing.
Yes, it
Like,
is. Yeah.
ngayon, in my 30s, I can super appreciate the benefits of a quality nap. Like,
Yes.
an
Yes.
hour of just good sleep like gets me up and going again.
Yep. Agree. 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 Agree.
So Doc Van, I took the liberty of kind of doing my research on our functional medicine website to kind of
Mhm.
figure out what kind of healthy habits
Sure.
you functional medicine doctors recommend in terms of in terms of getting quality sleep.
Yeah.
I'll go through them. Can you just, I
Yeah.
guess, like explain a little bit about it, and if there is also a TCM explanation, because I
Mm.
love how
Okay.
they're all just so interconnected.
Sure.
So number one, very practical, is maintain a consistent sleep schedule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's one thing that I know. It's one of the things that we try to encourage our patients to do. So, ano siya, if you sleep at, yun nga, 10, yung suggestion namin, be asleep by 11, right?
Mm,
Because be in bed by 11 at least. So, by 12, you're asleep na. And
mm.
then, oh, are you still there, Kathy? Okay.
Yeah,
Am I
I'm
still
here.
here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, when you, yun nga, so you're asleep by 12, tapos you're getting that, para may downtime yung katawan mo, so it knows when it's supposed to sleep already. That erratic sleep patterns kasi parang also confuses your body eh. Parang,
Mm,
if you have an erratic sleep schedule, parang your body doesn't know na parang, is it still daytime or is it nighttime when am I supposed to sleep
mm.
already? So if you're
Yeah.
doing a lot of things at night, it's parang it's a practice also on boundaries with whatever you're doing around, work maybe, or other things in your lives. Kasi you need to stimulate, you need to parang tell your body na, okay, matutulog na ako. Okay?
Mm,
So, that's the, parang the benefit of maintaining a sleep schedule and waking up at the same hour then. Parang you're training your body then na parang, okay, just to train your body to balance that, melatonin and cortisol cycle that we were talking about kanina.
mhm,
Yeah. So,
mm.
yun. So the other explanations kasi I don't wanna like, feeling ko, I can go on, but I feel like the other points then kasi will be able to, parang correlate everything eh.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
no, do go on. And with TCM, there's also an explanation, right? Why you guys want to kind of hit that sweet spot of 11 to what is it, like 3 or 4?
Yeah. Yeah. So, under TCM, so diba we have the organ systems under
Mm,
the TCM, and then we do have a TCM clock also.
mm,
So in terms kasi of TCM, your organs that we talk about there doesn't necessarily correlate with the organ. There's like a lot of there,
yeah.
parang things going on. So kuwaring sa lungs, right? Or any organ, may kasama yung physiology, may kasama yung emotion,
Yeah.
mental, etc., etc.
So
So at
amazing.
yeah, so at 3 a.m. to 5 a.m., yung primary na nagwo-work dyan under TCM is your lungs. Okay? So
Mm,
beyond the respiration, our lungs help us move energy through the body and keep our immune system intact. Okay?
got
So
it.
siya yung parang nagdi-distribute ng parang everything, ng nourishment throughout the body. Tapos, so if you find yourself, waking up around that time, it means na that part of your physiology or your system is imbalanced then.
Mm,
Tapos, if you're also waking up at 3 a.m. to 5 a.m., yung emotions kasi tied to the lungs is grief or sadness. And this is
mm,
something that I also parang experienced then during like a difficult part of or intense difficult part of my life then. Parang it was consistent. 3 a.m. or yeah, 3 a.m. onwards, right? So
mm.
just think about it. Like for some people, try to reflect lang then what you're going through, on a daily basis, or what you're going through in this phase of your life, because it might be that you need to address that to be able to get the quality sleep, so you're not waking up at 3 a.m. or 5 a.m. or etc.
So really address the emotion behind
Mm-hmm.
like what's
Yeah.
going on. Because sometimes like we try to sleep to so we don't have to address the emotion, right?
Yeah.
That's what usually
Right.
happens. And then
Yeah.
yeah, I get that. And then you kind of wake up at like the weirdest hours. Like you're up at 4 and you're like,
Yeah.
why? What's
Yep.
happening?
Yeah. That's in line with that. So that's 3 a.m. to 5 a.m., diba? Siyempre nakalimutan ko yung 11 p.m. to like 3 a.m. So the
Mhm.
two organs that are working during those hours in TCM, in a TCM umbrella, is your liver and gallbladder. So these are the two organs for detoxification,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So, which again coincides with the Western perspective of your immune system, the hormones releasing, the immune cells being released, etc. It's there to repair, rebalance, and detoxify you. And then the emotions naman that are tied to the liver is anger.
Mm.
So if you're waking up from 1 naman to 3 a.m., try to reflect also in your life if you're, experiencing some kind of anger, or if there's some fear going on. Because this is what I learned also recently, that sometimes fear can manifest as anger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
So
sure.
yeah. Yeah, so those are the things. I know sometimes it's hard to face those parts of our lives. Sometimes you just want to take
Yeah.
in the pill, put in the needle, like in terms of
Yeah.
acupuncture. But sure, those can help. But, if you don't correct all of those things outside of the clinic, it will still keep on popping up.
For sure. And that's
Yeah.
what I love about your practice and what we do at Centro. It isn't just addressing the physical, we really go into mental and even spiritual as well, and
Mm-hmm.
try to heal and bring awareness to those levels of ourselves, because usually
Mm-hmm.
the last manifestation of whatever is happening to us is in the physical net,
Yep.
right? So,
Yep.
whatever is happening spiritually comes down to mentally. And then if
Yep.
we still don't want to fix it, it's
Yep.
gonna come out and it's gonna manifest as,
Yep.
something in the physical. So it's
Yeah.
just nice as well to kind of, parang, "Oh nga, no, like what is going on?" Like I had a friend who had like gallstones, and I was like, I remember
Mm.
with you, and I was like, so like what is it that you are afraid of or have kind of
Mm-hmm.
been having some fear over? And like I think he
Mm.
was like struggling with coming out of the closet, and he
I
held on to that for
see.
so long that he manifested gallstones. um
Wow.
so when he had that
Interesting, right?
yeah, and then when he kind of had that aha moment, he was able to slowly heal from it.
Good.
That
Yeah.
was super amazing. Yeah. So I have here. Jericho has a question. He says, "Hi Doc, is taking a nap beneficial to your overall sleeping pattern?" Jericho has
Yes.
been falling into a lot of naps lately, which is probably
Oh,
what he's
yeah,
asking.
actually, napping can boost your immune system and make you feel more alert, tapos increases your cognitive function also and productivity. So, a
Mm,
20 to 30-minute nap early to mid-afternoon is beneficial. But if you experience or if you're feeling na you're needing a longer nap time, that can point to another health concern. Kasi that's
mm,
like that's like pointing to an energy deficit, and we have to look into, okay, why is your energy dipping very early on in the day, right?
mm.
uh,
Yeah.
Tapos the thing is with napping, then try not to nap at the latter part of the day, because it can also affect your ability to sleep at night naman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Hope that answers your question, Jer.
I love naps, by
Okay.
the way.
Same. I nap all the time, and I think he just kind of he started falling into the habit. So he's kind of like, "Is this
Mm,
good for me?" And I'm like, "Dude, like
yeah,
sleep is always good for you."
sleep is always good. Yes.
Right? Okay. There's the next kind of sleeping habit that is good to build as well is taking in more daylight and limiting exposure to artificial light. So what does that
Yes.
mean?
So, I know I'll share also my own experience with this, because it was
Mm,
very simple. I was doing a lot of things before I did something. I did, the sunshine method.
mm,
So I was about to take an exam earlier this year, and I had difficulty sleeping talaga. My sleep was off. And because you're stressed, right?
yeah.
And then
Mhm.
I did everything na I took in real parang mga acupuncture. I asked for acupuncture. I did acupuncture. Um I took in melatonin also, or L-theanine, just to help me relax, or holy basil ganyan. Pero wala talaga. And then
Mhm.
finally I consulted my colleague. He said, "Are you getting sunshine?" And I'm like, "What are you saying?" Right. Yeah. So sabi niya, well, kasi if you have sun exposure during the day, that can help regulate again that cortisol and melatonin cycle in your body. So I'm gonna refer
Um,
to that,
yeah,
yeah. Oh, so I'm gonna refer
that
to
yin
that
and yang.
every now and then, that yin and yang. So
Yeah.
if you spend more time also outside, or just have sunlight, it can make
Mhm.
that can help you get to sleep better, or fall asleep quicker at night then.
Mm,
Tapos, yeah, or artificial light kasi, especially during the evening hours na, um, which is why we encourage our patients to, at least an hour before their target bedtime, they turn their screens off,
mm.
or any kind of artificial light, kasi that's signaling a part of your brain that it's still daytime. And that part
Got
of
it.
your brain, yeah, that part of your brain kasi that's in charge of your body clock, it's right behind your eyes. So
Mm.
it's easily stimulated then. Yeah.
That makes sense. Like lately, I've been having trouble sleeping, and that's
Mm.
also around the time that I bought this big thing, like this ultra
Mm.
wide monitor behind me, because I'm like I'm so
Yeah.
blind. I need a big monitor to like to
Yeah.
read na and stuff, like signs of aging na. Um, and yeah, like look, pupuyat na ako mas padalas na yan, and I think it's because of this. So
Yeah.
I need to fix that.
Yeah.
Thank you for the reminder.
You're welcome. Yeah. So if you're sorry, just another thing then. So, kasi if you're always inside, try to work maybe near a window so you're getting that sunlight also during the day. And in terms of immune system, then merong kinalaman to with your release of vitamin D kasi.
Yeah.
So we're naturally producing vitamin D, which is stimulated by sunlight, right? But and vitamin D has a role in your immune system, has a role in your hormones also. So if you're not able to produce the vitamin D because we're not getting sunshine, that can also add another burden on your immune system.
Got it. So
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense din, no? Kasi like growing, like when you have a kid or whatever, like yung payo parating ng doctor for the kid, for the baby is like make sure that it gets morning sun, paarawan
Yes.
mo,
Yes. Yes,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
So like why did we stop that like when we became adults?
I have no idea also. Who
It's such
said
a
like,
good, such a
yeah.
practical practice pala, no?
Exactly. Maybe the future offices will be like, under the trees and not inside buildings in a cubicle. I don't know.
Exactly. Oh my god, I would have no, I would love to go back to corporate if like that was the setup.
Right? Yeah, I think, and you're getting also good air, etc.
You are
The dream.
required to go out and get sun, parang
Yeah.
ganun. well, well, how about now? Because like lately, it's been raining, and
Mm.
with climate change, yung bagyo season natin, the 1 or 2 days of rain turns in an entire week. So we don't really
Mhm.
get as much more like today. I don't, my light is from artificial light,
Mhm.
so we can't really get that much sun.
Mm.
In terms of supplementation, does it make sense to have like vitamin like D3 and K on
Yeah.
hand, or how do
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
every day?
Yeah, every day. So again, consult your doctor as to how much, because again, we're doing personalized medicine here, right? So yeah, it can help, especially for in Seattle, because this is the weather, right? In the U.S., it's always
Mm,
rainy weather. So a lot of people there actually, supplement with vitamin D and K just to be able to, help support their vitamin Ds in their bodies. So yeah, during this rainy season, for sure, you can do that. And then, try to, kasi even naman if it's raining or if it's like, gray outside, there's still some sun,
mm,
peeking through the clouds. So you can, still sit by your window, try to get that natural light pa rin.
yeah.
Yeah.
Still sunbathe ng konti kahit papano.
Sunbathe ng konti, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, another tip is to stay active.
Mhm,
It sounds, yeah, I mean it sounds practical, right? Like
mhm,
you go out, you get exercise, you move your body para pagod ka at the end of the
mm,
day. Is
mm.
there more to that than that?
Yeah, so again, it's stimulating also your mga endorphins, your happy hormones, right, etc. Tapos, if you're moving, also you're detoxing as well. So remember what I told you earlier about how people who are constipated or highly stressed have issues with their health. So
Mm.
yeah, so another way for you to help things move, kasi um, when you're sluggish, of course, your body's gonna adapt to be more sluggish also. So your insides become sluggish also. You're not helping it to do its job, right? So when you're
Ah.
sweating, you're also detoxing, and that can help
Mhm.
offload toxic burden and inflammatory burden. So by the time that you're asleep, you've already released a lot of toxins
Mm.
from your body. So parang lang, yung kailangan lang i-work on ng katawan mo at night, hindi na siya as much as,
Yeah.
compared to if you didn't sweat it out early in the day.
Mm. That
Yeah.
makes sense. And also, I think like when you're more active, when you've kind of built that habit of having a more active lifestyle, parang
Yeah.
you also kind of you wake up better as well. Is it because like
Yeah.
more cortisol is produced, or mas ramdam mo yung cortisol in the morning kaya mas mahimbing din yung tulog mo sa gabi?
Um, Sorry, what was the question again? Parang nagano
like
ko.
like if if you're more active, at least I notice with me, like with my
Yeah.
body, like when I really commit to
Yeah.
moving my body, having an active lifestyle, I notice that number one, I wake up a lot faster. Like I don't
Mm.
feel sluggish that you were saying, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I also notice that my quality of sleep is a lot better. So in terms of you were explaining the serotonin,
Mm,
melatonin, the yin and yang,
balance, yeah.
yeah, the balance, is it because you have an active lifestyle na parang mas marami yung cortisol mo in the morning, so mas marami rin yung melatonin mo sa gabi? Like, how does that make sense?
Okay, yeah, yeah. I think I'm getting now what your ano what the question is. So if
Mm-mm.
you're exercising, why is it that you feel better in the morning? Is
Yeah,
that
or
it?
like if your energy levels are just through the roof in the morning,
Right. Okay.
therefore you get
Got it.
quality sleep at night.
Right. Because you're ano rin eh, you're increasing the ano, parang circulation, you're restarting your circulation, your blood circulation, right? Energy production, right?
Mm.
Of your body. So, mag-adjust din yung katawan mo na parang, hey, this feels good inside, right? And yun nga, yung parang you feel, ano rin, parang you're feeling, not naman tired, but you're ready to go to sleep at a certain hour because yun nga,
Mm.
parang you used up all of that surge of cortisol in the morning. Kasi we do have that cortisol surge in the morning. That's why it's advisable to do your workouts in the morning so you get that benefit also. So you're using that up. So by the parang regulatory din siya. Exercise when you do it during that part of the day. Parang ano siya. Yung pag-release din ng cortisol, maayos din siya throughout the day.
Ah, got it. So it
Yeah.
also has to do with bioenergetics. It's
Yes.
so interesting.
Yeah,
It's so
exactly.
interesting. I'd never think that like sleeping would be connected to bioenergetics of all things. Parang they're total opposites. But yeah, it makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. And kasi ano rin eh, well, in terms of ano rin, your focus and your parang cognitive function throughout the day, it also, exercise also helps in stimulating that and strengthening that also.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. Ngayon na I'm not doing anything because I'm stuck indoors. I mean, we've been stuck indoors since August. Like
Mm.
I feel that sluggishness. I feel
Yeah.
that parang even though I've been sleeping all night, like pagising mo, I just feel ugh.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes
Yeah.
a while. It takes a while for the cortisol to kick in, at least for me.
Right.
But yeah. Okay, another tip is to avoid caffeine, heavy metals, and alcohol before
Mm-hmm.
bed. I mean, the caffeine I understand. What heavy metals could we consume before bed?
Well, ano ba? Heavy metals like from smoking. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yung mga gano'n. Ano pa ba? Basta mga anything that your body's not supposed to have but you're
Yeah.
inhaling. Maybe
Mm,
in a general sense.
yeah.
So just yeah, just think about parang kasi yung smoke, right? The smoke is
Mm-mm.
a toxin. Like it's a burnt thing that's going inside your body. So that's one of the
Yeah.
toxicities that we can absorb throughout our bodies through food also and through yung mga things that we put on our body. So that's why it's important to check also what's on there, whether it be
Mhm.
cosmetics or because heavy metals can come from cosmetics also. Yeah.
Mm, true.
Tapos, ano pa ba? Like, what are your habits? Are you smoking before bed? Yeah, because that can increase toxic burden. What else about alcohols also?
Alcohol. Usually the excuse is like you drink alcohol pampatulog,
I
right? So
know, but it can also, parang wake you up in the, in the middle of the night then. Kasi your body's trying to detox it eh. Right? Does that make
yeah,
sense?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So when
Yeah.
you have or when you took in or you had a lot of intake of alcohol, sometimes, well, for some people they're knocked out, but sometimes it can wake people up nga kasi that's too much, too much to
Yeah.
let go of during your
Yeah.
sleep. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Like you're uncomfortable, you're sweating,
Yep.
you feel like you want to throw up, like
Yep.
yeah, not
Yeah.
not the best.
Not the best.
Okay, next tip is our favorite one, which is taking naps. So like
Mm.
Jericho asked earlier, like I feeling go like my sleep is around 9 to 10 hours a day, simply because like I get
Mm.
my around 8 to 9, and then I
Mm.
want to get an extra hour in.
Oh, okay, okay,
Somewhere
okay.
in the middle of the day. So whenever people ask me, like, like, how old are you? And I tell them my age, they're like, really? Like, you don't look it. And I'm like, it's all the naps that I
Exactly.
take. It's all the naps
Exactly.
I take. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. That's true. And ano rin, parang when you're ano kasi, this is just sleeping in general, right? So we have this parang toxins, waste products in our brains called tau proteins, right? So
Mm,
that's just in a general sense, that's a waste product of your brain, right?
mm,
And then we also have like waste products because of our cells, etc., etc. So if you're ano rin, that's when you're getting adequate sleep, that's your time. You're ano rin, dinidetox din siya, nilalabas din siya ng body mo, getting rid
mhm,
of all of that. So you're slowing your aging process through the act of sleeping, which we take for
mm.
granted, or we
Yeah.
don't. Oh, so maybe to lessen the your expenditure on Botox or any other
Exactly.
procedures, try first to manage your sleep. Try it for like a month or week, even 2 weeks. Ganyan, see if there's a difference in the consistency of your skin, of like the dark circles that you have. Yeah,
Yeah, for
so
sure.
it's one of the ano lang tips.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Like it's and for me as well, like I like to get naps in, especially if I'm having a stressful day, because for
yeah,
me it just resets kind of
tama,
everything,
tama,
right? And then you
tama.
kind of wake up and you're just so much more refreshed and ready to go again,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
opposed to trying to power through it and then,
yeah,
voila, and then the quality of sleep that you get at night also isn't as good because
yeah,
you're awake, like there is fear or anger there somewhere, and you wake up at a weird time, still
yeah.
thinking about whatever it is.
Yep, exactly, exactly. And this is why it's also important to work with, if kung wari, you've addressed your things physiologically, and the missing link is, the things that you do on a daily basis, or the things that you are trying to process also. It's good to work with a life coach, honestly, right? Because they can help
Mhm.
you, you can figure a lot of things out by yourself for sure.
Yeah.
But the guidance, that external
Mhm.
guidance without bias, because we're biased to ourselves, right?
For
Yeah.
sure.
And someone who can see your parang your issues objectively is very, very helpful.
Yeah, 100%. And a lot of the jobs like we do is just kind of seeing or trying to look for angles that you might not necessarily be able to see coming from your perspective. So that's all we do
Exactly.
really. And it's
Yep.
just shining a light on that and keeping you guys accountable
Yep.
to, like your goal. So if your goal is your health goal is you want to be able to get 8 hours of quality sleep a night, that's something that we can definitely work on,
Mm-hmm.
etc. But if it is related to, let's say, past traumas, etc., then maybe a therapist would do
Yeah.
better for that. But the
Yeah.
goals of the goal of hitting 8 hours per sleep or creating a lifestyle that could better support your sleep is definitely something that we can work with. So you can
Yes.
always set an appointment with Centro Holistico, and then I can come in and sit down with you on that. Okay.
Yeah.
Next tip is take time to unwind. Now, what
Mm-hmm.
does this mean? Because my unwind is like watching Netflix or playing games. So it still necessitates a screen.
Yeah.
Is there a
I
better
know.
way to go about this?
So I'm going to also be vulnerable here and say, in the last few months talaga, I have, like I have used a screen, Netflix or YouTube, to help me unwind or help me relax, right?
Mm.
Kasi nga, my favorite videos now, sorry, side kwento lang.
Yeah,
My
go.
favorite videos right now are those people in either Japan or Korea doing cafe hopping, ganyan. Because it's like
Mm,
my way of traveling right now.
for sure.
Yun, so it relaxes me because there's not a lot of talking. But
Mm,
but I realized that my sleep quality is not as good, and I say that because when I wake up, I don't feel refreshed because yeah, I
yeah,
stay up all night watching all these videos, right? Because they're fun, right? They're
yeah.
um, it's a very interesting, but again, it goes back to boundaries. Okay,
Mm,
so do I need to? Yeah, in terms of mindfulness, kasi yung taking time to unwind has a lot to do with mindfulness, right? So you have to ask yourself, do I need to watch this now, or is it okay for me to watch it tomorrow again as like another, for another break or whatever? So
Yeah.
that's one. Parang take note of your screen time, or how long you use your screens for, especially during at night, right?
Mm.
Kasi we have this term called revenge bedtime. Parang
Mm.
during the 'di ba? I hope I'll be able to explain it properly. But during the day kasi 'di ba, we're working, 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 working. So by the end of the day, especially at night na, parang wait lang, I didn't get to do anything for myself today. Let me watch all of these things, or let
Yeah.
me do everything during this pocket of like 3 hours, or like
Yeah.
beyond, right? After 9 p.m., after dinner or whatever.
Mhm.
So you can prize yourself in a way. Pero yun nga parang it's damaging to your body. You're
Yeah.
not getting proper sleep, etc. So,
Mm-mm.
yun.
Yeah.
Tapos ano pa ba? Another mindfulness, or parang giving yourself, just going back to what I said also kanina, giving yourself time to some downtime to signal to your body that you're ready for bed, right?
Mm.
So yung mga lang, parang mga other habits that you can incorporate is just try to maybe breathe also,
Yeah.
because when we're anxious sometimes we reach for our phones, right, to help us relax. But
Mm-mm.
um you can try also breathing, try to regulate your parang feelings, or regulate your parang neurological system, just by focusing your mind on something else.
Mm-mm. Like
Yeah.
for me, like a good tip, at least for me, that works for me, instead of like I'm instead of being in front of like my
Mm-hmm.
laptop and whenever I need to relax, is I've kind of gone the podcast slash audible
Mm.
route. So
Mm.
that's
Yeah.
how I kind of like to relax my brain.
Good.
So like right now, like I'm just going through Dolores Cannon. Like I like listening to weird stuff, and she
Mm-hmm.
has she talks about the most interesting things like past lives, um,
Interesting.
like aliens, hypnotherapy. She's a hypnotherapist, and she goes back into people's past lives, and
Right.
yeah, like, and then she uncovers all of these things. So for me, like that's kind of been my brain candy now
Oh,
for
okay.
going to sleep. So I kind of fall asleep to
Right.
listening to her describing her hypnotherapy sessions.
Yeah, that's
um,
good.
and
Because
and and,
sometimes
and
soothing
yeah,
voices
yeah,
can also help you relax. Yeah.
for sure. And that has kept me off my screen because it's still kind of entertaining your brain because you're
Yes.
listening to something, but then you don't have the glare,
You're right.
right? So
Right.
like
Right. Right.
yeah, so that's something that works for me. Hope that it works for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, the last one is improve your sleep environment. What does that mean?
Mm-hmm. So, this goes back to sleep hygiene then. Parang, kasi diba, if you see that, parang your place of sleep, or where you're going to rest, looks appetizing, right? You're going
Mm,
to have a better sleep. So, if you, feel that maybe and these are super basic, again, some things that I experienced also. If you feel that you're starting to like parang sneeze more, or maybe like be more uncomfortable in your bed, maybe it's time to change the sheets. Yeah,
mm,
right. So that's one. Tapos if there's clutter that you see all around your room, parang you're also gonna get stressed in a way,
yeah,
right?
because
When
you're
you
visually, yeah,
yes,
your eyes go
visually.
to the palette. Yeah.
Exactly. Tapos pagising mo, wala, andun pa rin yung kalat. So, masistress ka na ulit in the morning. Right? So,
Yeah.
yung mga simple tips na gano'n, na parang just tidy up.
Mm,
Maybe one or two things near your bed or in your bedroom, right? Can
mm,
really, really, help create, more quality sleep for yourself and more comfortable sleep din.
mm,
Try to think din, baka masyadong makapal din yung kumot ninyo. Kaya, naiinitan kayo sa gabi. So, that's why you're waking up also. So these
mm.
are the things again na parang sobrang simple lang, but
No, yeah.
some of the things that you can try. Yeah.
For sure. Like for me, like yeah, I like I said, I love I love sleeping. I'm not ashamed to say it.
Yeah.
And for me, like really investing in a good mattress, investing in pillows that you like, investing
Yeah.
in, bedding with a high thread count, at least for me, is super important just
For
because
sure.
it really adds to the quality of sleep that I'm getting and how fast I fall asleep.
Right.
I remember I had a friend who, for the longest time, like he only had like foam mattresses, you know,
Mm.
and he kept on complaining, like like his back would hurt, this would hurt,
Yeah.
etc. And he's like, why don't you just invest in like your own mattress?
Yeah.
And he finally did, and yeah, like huge change, you know. Also, like looking for pillows that work for you
Mm.
is super
Yep.
important.
Oh my
Like
God.
I was teasing my
Yes.
brother because my brother is like he isn't the type to think about these things. So
Mm.
he'll just sleep on whatever. And I was
Yeah.
like, dude, feeling ko yung pillow mo was like there since the early 2000s. It's time to upgrade. Time to upgrade. But we don't think about stuff like that,
We
right? Because
don't.
we're
We
like,
really
we're,
don't. Yeah.
right, well, I'm just gonna sleep on there, for like 8 hours,
Yep.
whatever, and then I'm off, and I don't think about the bed anymore until I have to go back to it. But
Mm.
really turning it into something inviting that you
Yeah.
really want to crawl into, um,
Yeah.
is really really helps.
Yeah, for sure. Like, ano, just, ano, natawa ko dun sa pillows kasi that's something that I've been dealing with for quite a while now. And I'm
It's a
like,
common problem.
I know it's like well it makes sense kasi like all of us, we're always sitting in our chairs right now a lot of the time because of worker from home and this pandemic, etc. So it's more prominent now, that
Yeah.
issue. But I'm starting to have neck pain, and I know my pillow is contributory, but I'm just really denying it. But I know I should I should change it. Like yun nga, just walk the talk. So I need to also find some things to adjust at least where I sleep then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For me, my biggest kind of upgrade was just buying a mattress where it's the type na hindi mo mararamdaman yung katabi mo if they stand up or not.
Oh,
Because
nice.
I have two dogs who
Right.
like to sleep, and then they just jump off every time. My old one was a spring
Mm.
one. So every time they
Oh,
on the bed and hop off, magigising ako. So for me,
right,
like
right. Oh,
that
that's a
was
good
like
investment.
right. So
That's
consider
good. Yeah.
consider that as well. Like if you're like me, or you have two medium sized dogs, or you have a partner na magulo
Yeah.
matulog,
Right.
invest as well. Try to invest
Yeah.
in a good mattress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
one more thing pala before I forget then.
mhm.
Um, ang tawag nito, simple things then that you can add during sleep. Akala ko dati pampaarte lang siya or like an arte accessory. But
Mm.
when I started using like those eye masks, oh my goodness.
Mm.
Like my sleep has been like so good kasi nga parang I don't know, I easily wake up now pag may sun na. Which is good. At least, automatic yung gumagana yung body clock ko. But
Yeah.
sometimes, especially during the weekends, you kind of want to sleep in. So that's been
Yeah.
very,
Or when
very
it's
helpful then. Yeah. So yun
or
lang.
when it's raining. Another one I think as well that it's good to add is essential oils.
Mm.
Using a humidifier and just adding essential oils to
Yep.
kind of make that like your bedtime routine. Like I have
Yeah.
like a lavender mint
Yeah.
combo that I like to use when before I go to sleep. So
Mhm.
I just put my thing on, I
Yeah.
put that in, and it knocks me out, it knocks the
Yeah.
dogs out. We're all happy in the morning.
Oh, that's
Uh,
good.
right?
Yeah.
It's such a nice, and also like being able to create like bedtime rituals for
Yeah.
yourself, I feel
Yeah.
really helps us get to sleep faster and get that
Mhm.
quality sleep, so our
Yeah.
immune system is a lot, is a lot stronger. I really noticed that when my sleep suffers, sakitan ako.
Yeah. So, yeah, so meron yung mga tao, 'di ba, pag puyat sila, they notice that parang may sipon na sila the next day,
Mm-mm.
right? Oh,
I
so I
used to
hear
think
a
that
lot
was
of those. Yeah.
normal.
Yeah,
Oh,
I thought so too. But um, when you compare lang. Just try to experiment with your body also, because your bodies, our bodies are very smart. So if you get
mhm.
adequate sleep, will you have that, parang sniffling in the morning or the next day? Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. Yung iba, of course, meron ng correlation yun. Pero in terms of, parang general health, see
yeah.
how you feel, see what your nose says, or like your
Mhm.
whole psyche says, the next
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah, I used to think it was just for me. I used to think it was just kind of like morning sniffles, or like I'd blame the
Mm,
dogs. I'd be like,
yeah,
ay nako, yung mga aso kasi, like they're always on the bed,
yeah.
etc. But yeah, when I started getting quality sleep, nawala siya.
Mm,
You know?
yep.
So yeah, that makes total sense. That makes total sense
Interesting.
for me.
Yeah.
So I used to blame the dogs. Like, oh no, I get morning sniffles because the dogs, they keep jumping on and off the bed. They're on my
Mm.
blankets, but now it's gone. So sorry, guys.
Learning
sorry, sorry,
process.
sorry, I blamed you.
It's okay. We're all learning.
So yeah, this was a wonderful chat, and I loved how just my big aha moment here is just having scheduled quality sleep
Hmm.
can really help with boosting our immune system, which can really
Yeah.
help protect us from getting not just COVID, but any
Yeah.
virus that's like
Yeah.
going around.
Yep.
Um, but a lot of the times, like we talk about, yes, you should get vaccinated, but then people keep saying, oh, vaccinated nga ako, pero I still got COVID. You really
Mm.
still need to be working actively
Right.
on raising your immune system, which is why we
Yeah.
love doing talks like this because it's so
Hmm.
practical.
Yep. Yeah. And it's I guess this is part of our, everyone's phase in life right now is really doing the work, not just,
Mm,
emotionally or, mentally, but doing the work also to strengthen our bodies talaga. Because
yeah,
it's what this whole time is saying right now, right? It's parang unfurling a lot of our beliefs then,
yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So regardless of what's happening in our environment, we do still have that control, over our bodies, and
Yeah,
what are the things that we can do to strengthen it. And it's really like, it's not a pill. I wish
yeah,
it was. I wish it was, because that would be so easy, right? But sometimes, because it's really what we do in our bodies, what we put in our bodies, how we treat our bodies also, that's going to make the difference.
yeah. 100%. So, I hope that you guys really take these talks and just put them into practice, right? Like we
Yep.
did one talk with Dog Candy last week about,
Yeah.
how to raise our immune system and the practical tips from a functional medicine point of view. This week, we're concentrating on sleep and how to boost our immune system that way. We have a couple of other interesting talks coming out
Hmm.
later in the month that is really focused on our immune
Hmm.
system also, so we can go out and not be fearful, which I kind of
Yep.
feel is has become the general consensus in terms of what we're going through. So just
Yep.
knowing that you're putting in the steps to feel empowered, and you're putting in the steps so you are changing your lifestyle, so you as much as possible you don't get sick,
Yep.
right? It's definitely not a one size fits all, but these are 100% practical tips that you can apply today, right? No pills, no potions, no surgeries, just a lifestyle change. It really is as simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah. Agree. 100%. 100%.
So, Doc Ven, thank you so much for sharing your insights and educating us once again. It's always a pleasure talking to you. For those folks that want to find you, talk to you about, their sleep issues a bit more, or whatever
Hmm.
else is going on with them, where can they find you for a holistic medical consult?
All right. So I work in two clinics in the Grove, Centro Holistico the Grove and Quezon City. So either one, whichever is nearer to you. But we do have Alabang also, and all of our other doctors are practicing there. So you can just contact any of our clinics. I'm there from Tuesday to Friday. So any of those days, pili na lang kayo. Tuesday, Thursday, I'm in the Grove. Wednesday, Fridays, I'm in Quezon City. Yeah, so I look forward to talking to everyone, getting geeky about all of these things that we can do about your life.
Yeah, and just set you guys up to win, especially sa panahon ngayon.
Yep,
So
exactly.
yeah, thank you so much, Doc Ven, and thank you so much, guys, for joining us. We'll see you again next week for another wellness weekend. Bye for now.
Thank you, Kathy. Bye, everyone.